It's the best place to hide. It really is.
The oceans are, there's a really great guy named Dr. Kevin Newth out there. He teaches.
I've heard of that name.
Yeah. Kevin's a really good man. He teaches at Albany and in New York State.
I think he's on our list, Steve.
He's coming on the podcast.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's good.
Shout out to Kevin.
Well, yeah, he made a really good insight on this, and he just said, look at the ocean. So a lot of things about it. First of all, it's non-compressible. In other words, the pressure is constant. So that could be helpful. It's certainly a protective, like if you are from a place where maybe our solar radiation is not necessarily the right thing for you. You come from somewhere else, the ocean is a protective place for that. Its temperature variations are far less in the ocean than they would be above the ocean. And a lot of other things. He said, there's a lot of good reasons if you are from somewhere else. What if you are from a water society?
Sure.
Well, the oceans might feel like home. So there are good reasons. And then, of course, there's
also,
the human.
Our skies are just littered with airplanes. So there's that.
Yeah, and if you are interested in these human creatures, well, you know that they live on the land, so they might hang out in the ocean, stay out of the way. So there's good reasons that the oceans would be, providing you have the technology to do it. But if you've got that, then sure, why not? You asked for hotspots, so I'll answer that. One is Puerto Rico, and particularly, I think all around Puerto Rico.
Really?
But especially the east, west, and northern coasts. The southern coast, yeah, but I think I just haven't found as many. But along the, you get like northwest Aguadilla, or you go out to the east. The U.S. Navy's got a big presence at a place called Roosevelt Roads there, facing Vieques Island. There's a lot of activity there. But north of the island, you've got the Great Puerto Rico Trench, which goes almost 30,000 feet down. It's super deep, and we can't get down there. But there are.
I'm sorry. How deep did you say it was?
About 29,000 feet. I think maybe close to 30,000 feet. So you're talking.
Can you find a map?
Almost 6 miles down. It's not quite as deep as the Mariana Trench in the Pacific, but it's close, and it's quite large. It's several hundred miles. So you have. There are a number of pretty good cases from that area. He's pulling something up.
And who is reporting these cases in Aguadilla or around northern Puerto Rico?
Aguadilla, yeah, that's not exactly at the trench, but it's not that far from it, I guess.
Right. Or around this area, roughly.
The cases go. Good Puerto Rico trench cases go back to the early 60s that I found, maybe even in the 50s, but they really start to collect in the 60s, early 1960s. There's some good Aguadilla cases from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. Like they've got throughout. There's quite a few interesting ones. There's a picture
Click on that
the
Puerto Rico Trench. Go to that one to the left of there, top left. Yeah, right there. Blow that up so I can see it. Oh, wow.
Tilted.
So that is on, is that northeast, south? Is that oriented the right way or is that reverse?
It's
northern plate is over here.
Yeah.
So that north is to the right.
Correct. Yeah.
And that would mean that Aguadilla is where?
On the top left.
Top left.
Top right, excuse me.
Top right.
Exactly.
Okay, I see.
Where you got it.
Yeah, that gets really deep right there. Wow.
Yeah. It's super, extremely deep.
Are there military people that are reporting any of this stuff?
Yes, absolutely. Well, reporting is a hard way to put it. So years after the fact, these stories will come out, in a variety of ways.
Yeah.
So Puerto Rico is one hotspot. We hear a lot of talk about California's Catalina Island.
Oh, yes.
Near L.A. there. Yeah. That absolutely. The entire Atlantic seaboard of the United States going into Canada. Florida, where we are, is extremely, very, very active on all sides of the peninsula.
Really?
Florida, yeah. Absolutely. But going all the way up the eastern U.S. coast. But then here's the problem with this. So USOs, just like UFOs or UAP now, it's very U.S. dominated in terms of reporting. Americans report this stuff way more. Well, we have better reporting infrastructure. We've got MUFON and we've got the National UFO Reporting Center. And so we're able to get these. Other regions of the world, I don't really think that they have the same infrastructure for collecting these cases.
Right.
It's hard. Now, there are some areas, Italy, the Italian researchers have collected a lot. They do a lot of very good work out there. And you get some good cases out by Norway and Britain, absolutely.
What about South America?
Yeah, South America, there's good. I mean, I would have tended to think I'd find more because you kind of like know there's a lot of activity going on in South America. And there's a decent number of USO cases, yeah. So down by Buenos Aires and Argentina, also all along Brazil. Brazil's got a lot.
Brazil's got a crazy history, just in general, of UFOs.
Yes, absolutely.
I recently learned about that Jacques Vallée book where there was like a massacre down there.
Colares.
Yeah.
Yes, at the Amazon, the Delta reaching out to the Atlantic Ocean in the late 70s. Yes. And there's a lot of those that are genuine USO cases. So many of those were seen in the water, coming out of the water, entering the water. That's an incredibly ecologically important area, part of this world. I mean, it's the most massive amount of water flow, I think, going into any ocean on the planet.
The Amazon River?
Out of the Amazon. It's massive. This is incredibly ecologically important and rich, like estuary, where you've got... It's just very important. So maybe there's part of that that's going on. Maybe they're interested in that.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, there were some cases in the late 70s there where people were killed and severely injured by these objects. And that definitely appears to be the case.
Yeah, it was a lot, it seemed like. The way it was described to me was that there was like it seemed like a slaughter of people, or just a lot of people being murdered, and not in a kind way, by something.
Yeah, and in fact, there are claims that this type of thing goes on to this day. Not necessarily in that specific region, but other parts of South America. I have heard.
How recently?
Like quite recently. There's a gentleman I know named Tim Alberino. I really like Tim. He went down. Where the hell was he? Was it Peru? Maybe. Anyway, just in the last few years, some very bizarre cases of like human mutilation type cases that he was looking into. I wish I could.
And these are with.
I wish I could remember this a little bit better than I do.
Are these with indigenous people, or are these with like English speaking?
Indigenous, not living completely indigenous lifestyles, but very kind of like rural.
Yeah.
South American type. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they have some technology, so they're not.
They're not uncontacted tribes.
No,
but they are. Wow.
They live a more basic kind of a life than we might hear with technology.
And they're described. Were there any details to like who was responsible for this, or like what their descriptions were of who was doing this stuff?
Well, there's Tracy's in the next room. She could probably jump in on this better than I could. But I'll just say that there's reason to wonder that this was a human operation going on. That is not necessarily an alien thing. That this could be some kind of really like a diabolical covert op type of a thing happening. Possibly. I don't want to say much more because I'm afraid I'm going to say something that's not accurate.
Oh, okay. I see.
But yeah, this is a subject where I think I started this 30 years ago thinking I'm going to go down this rabbit hole for a couple of months, and here you are, like it just opens up all of these fascinating and sometimes disturbing possibilities that are out there.